Let's be honest. Texting today is how most relationships begin, build, and either bloom or break. We don't always get the chance to have a magical first date or a heart-to-heart conversation under the stars. Sometimes it's all in a message. Just a few words can light someone up or make them drift away. And when it comes to men, there are certain kinds of texts that get under their skin in the best way. They make them smile when they read it. They check their phone again just to reread it. They think about you when you're not even there. Now, if you're a woman who's ever wondered, what should I text him to get his attention, or how do I show interest without looking desperate? You're in the right place, because today we're diving into 4 texts men absolutely love to receive. And this isn't about manipulation. This is about understanding how attraction works, how connection forms, and how to communicate with confidence. Let's talk about the first kind of message that makes a guy stop in his tracks. The text that shows appreciation, but not just for what he did, for who he is. Let's say he told you about a tough day at work. He mentioned how he stood up to a difficult client or took on a responsibility others avoided. Later that night, you send him a message that says, "I love how you handle pressure. You've got this quiet strength about you. It's seriously attractive." Now pause, think about that. You're not just saying great job today or hope your day was okay. You're going deeper. You're noticing his character. You're reflecting back his best qualities. This kind of message does something powerful. It makes him feel seen, not just liked, not just flattered, understood. Men, like everyone else, crave emotional intimacy, but they don't often get it, especially not through text. So when you drop something thoughtful like that, it hits hard in a good way. It builds a layer of emotional connection that most people never get to. Now, the second kind of text men love, it's the playful challenge. This one's fun. It's where you show him you're confident, witty, and not afraid to tease a little. Here's an example. Let's say you were talking about weekend plans, and he says he's going hiking. You respond with, "I bet you're the kind of guy who gets lost in the woods, but pretends it was part of the plan." Boom. You're being light-hearted. You're teasing him without being mean. You're creating a little tension, a little spark, and the best part, you're not trying too hard. You're not overthinking. You're just being you, with a little edge. These texts are magnetic because they're low pressure, but high impact. They make him want to engage. They make him want to chase, because you're giving him something playful to chase. And guess what? Men love the chase, not because of the ego boost, but because it brings out their desire to pursue, to win, to connect. When you create space for that kind of energy, it changes everything. Alright, now we're moving into deeper territory. Let's talk about the third type of text, the unexpected, out of nowhere compliment. This one's a little different from appreciation. It's more spontaneous, more surprising, and sometimes more powerful. Picture this. It's 2 p.m. He's at work. His phone buzzes. Your message says, "Just thought you should know. You looked really good last night." That's it. Simple, direct, no emojis, no explanation. He wasn't expecting it. You're not trying to start a conversation. You're just planting a thought in his mind. "You're attractive. I noticed, and I liked it." Men thrive on validation, just like women do, but society tells them to act cool, to not need it. So when a woman gives them a direct, genuine compliment out of nowhere, it sticks. It makes them feel desired. It lights up their confidence. And most of all, it makes them think of you. You become the person who sees them at their best. The person who isn't afraid to express desire. That's unforgettable. And here's a quick tip. The more specific, the better. Instead of just "you looked good," try "that gray shirt you wore last night, ridiculously hot," or "the way you walked into the room, I felt it." This isn't about objectifying. It's about expressing how you feel in a way that's authentic and bold. Men don't hear that kind of thing often. When they do, they remember. Now we're on to the fourth text, and this one might be the most powerful of them all. It's the vulnerable invitation. This is where you drop the armor. You let him in, not in a heavy way, but in a human way. It could sound like, hey, I've had kind of a rough day. Would love to hear your voice, if you're free late. Read that again. What are you doing here? You're not just asking to talk. You're saying, I trust you with my emotions. I want your presence. I feel better when you're there. That's intimacy, and that's what men are starving for, but often afraid to reach. When a woman sends this kind of message, she's not being needy, she's being real, and that is insanely attractive. It tells him, you're not just here for the surface level stuff. You're open, you're emotionally available, and you're giving him the space to be the same. These kinds of texts create bonds. They break through the endless cycle of wide and long and cool. They make your connection feel meaningful, even if you haven't spent that much time together yet. Now here's what most people get wrong. They think texting is about being clever, or being mysterious, or playing hard to get. But the truth, texting is about giving someone a feeling. When you send a message, you're planting a seed. What kind of seed do you want it to be? If you send something cold, you create distance. If you send something curious, you open a door. If you send something warm, you make them lean in. So think about how you want him to feel when he reads your message. Do you want him to feel desired, appreciated, amused, intrigued, safe? Craft your messages around that emotion. Let's play this out with a few real-life scenarios. Say you've just gone on your first date. You had a great time, but you don't want to seem overeager. Instead of the generic "had fun last night," try this: "Last night was trouble," in the best way. Now you've got flirtation, you've got intrigue, you've got personality. Or maybe you're trying to get his attention after a few days of silence. You could text, "I was just laughing about something you said the other night." Your trouble. Again, playful, personal. It invites a response without begging for one. Or let's say he's been pulling back a bit. You want to call it out without creating drama. Try this: "Hey, just checking in. I noticed you've been a bit quiet. Everything okay?" Simple, honest, respectful. You're not accusing, you're observing. That kind of message shows emotional intelligence, and that's incredibly rare. So here's the takeaway. You don't need to write novels. You don't need to obsess over the perfect emoji. You just need to speak from the heart, with a bit of confidence and a lot of clarity. Texting is not about getting a guy to like you. It's about expressing who you are, so the right guy knows what he's found. When you send messages that show appreciation, create playful tension, offer surprise compliments, and invite real connection, you're not just texting, you're creating chemistry, you're building emotional attraction, and you're making it incredibly easy for a guy to fall for you for all the right reasons, because it's not the words themselves, it's the intention behind them. And when your intention is honest, bold and full of heart, that's when the magic happens. So next time you reach for your phone to text him, take a breath, ask yourself, what do I want him to feel right now? And then, give him that feeling. Because when you do, you won't have to worry about getting his attention. He'll already be thinking about you.